Hi, I'm Jay, and welcome to my channel. I like to discuss topics along the lines of body, mind, and soul. Specifically, just self improvement, human development, and just learning more about the human mind and how we treat each other and just human behavior in general. Today, I'd like to talk about the negative mindset and shame. And mostly it's like an internal shame and how we perceive the world and the lenses that we see things. Now, this is something that I've struggled with my entire life. Um, my development was severely affected by an internal negative mindset as well as shaming myself frequently for decisions that I made, not being the perfect person, making a mistake and then just ruminating on that mistake for hours, sometimes days. And when I feel like people have judged me unfairly, um, it can get quite bad, the way that I perceive myself, because then I start blaming myself for a lot of mistakes that I know weren't mine, or I start to question uh, my perspective in these situations. And I've always been the type of person to just try to be kind and courteous to everybody and treat everybody equally. I don't judge people on a surface level. I look past what they look like and just try to see the character behind the mask. And I've been able to see past the masks that we create for ourselves for a long time. This is just something I've been able to do since I was a child. And I think everybody wears a mask in some shape or form to be accepted by society. We try to fit in, we try to put ourselves in a box that would be perceived as acceptable. What ends up happening, though, is some of us are not easily capable of putting ourselves in those boxes. And in that state of mind, we end up being, we might come off as aggressive or too open and honest or blunt. Um, and then people will shame us for just being truthful or just open. Now, over time, uh, our self awareness can get foggy, and you start questioning your own beliefs and your own way of thinking, because it's not the same as other people's, and we all have different perspectives, we all have different views on life and how we should live. And that's the great part of this world, is having diverse thinking and opinions. And that needs to be more accepted, I think. I My views in this current climate, political world, etc. People have opinions on all kinds of different matters, but the part that I struggle with is when you start using shame as a tool uh, to silence voices. And it's a powerful tool that's been used for a very long time to make people feel bad about what they think or how they want to be or the type of personality traits that they have, and they're being shamed into hiding it from each other. I think people have been masking for too long, and in my opinion, this creates a negative spiral in a lot of people's minds. And people have gotten really good at hiding their shame and their negativity with a mask. Now, I've craved authenticity my entire life. I believe that people are capable of being more authentic. They just haven't learned how, or they weren't shown how to be more authentic with themselves and others around them because we're afraid to offend each other. Now, being offended is a personal responsibility. It's on the individual. If you're offended by something, or you're in a situation where uh, you think your negative mindset might get triggered, then putting yourself in those situations is probably not the best option. And personal accountability, I think, becomes a major factor in life where we are in control of our minds and we decide how we want to be and how we want to act in this world. And it's okay to use shame as a tool in certain circumstances. I think there's shameful actions that people take in public that probably should not be happening. And maybe shame isn't the right tool to use. Maybe just explaining to them that this is not okay, or, like there's a better place for these outward expressions. And not everything needs to be out in public. Uh, Not everybody has to know everything about everybody. And if you're comfortable being that way, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. But there shouldn't be like a demand from anyone's perspective to just accept it for whatever reason. We all have our own lines in the sand that we create for ourselves and our own morals, and those should be respected as well as other people's decisions. So, kind of getting a little bit off track off the negative mindset, but I'm just trying to paint a picture because a lot of these situations cause people to have a negative mindset about themselves when they've been shamed or singled out, or uh, they grew up in a home where there was a lot of negativity happening, and it's hard to break free from negativity and shame, and it kind of keeps us in a state of like if we get frozen in time almost, in a way. It's like you can't really progress in life if you're constantly shaming yourself, or you're constantly negatively thinking about multiple aspects of life. Now, there is a lot of negative issues in the world that need to be dealt with, but I believe that a lot of shame and negativity starts within. And in order to address those issues, you have to look in yourself and work on yourself to manage that negative thinking and the shame, and just become okay with it, and just try to limit the negative thinking as much as possible. Try to be more appreciative of the current situation that you're in or what you have, because there's always somebody that's worse off. And shaming somebody at all levels, if you're shaming somebody because they're not doing well, or they can't seem to get their life together, there might be a lot of different reasons for that. It could be mental health related, it could be physical health related. Um, Maybe they just had a really hard go of it in life. So shaming somebody because they're struggling, that doesn't really work for me. Trying to understand somebody's point of view and maybe having a conversation with them is better. And it's really what ends up happening is people have had a hard life and they've been shamed their entire lives, and that carries through into adulthood. You start feeling like you're not worthy of people's time. You don't feel worthy of your own health. People punish themselves because of shame and negativity. They'll just say, screw it. I don't care if I eat whatever I want. I don't care if I kill myself with food. Like, it's a cry for help in a lot of cases. Um, but too many people are scared to admit it because they feel shame for their actions, but they don't want to talk about the shame because talking about the shame creates more shame. It's a negative spiral that starts happening. And I've been down that road several times in my life. I've blamed myself. I've been really hard on myself for making a mistake, and I beat myself up more than anybody ever could because I never felt good enough, worthy of much in this world. And taking self accountability and changing that and just trying to believe in yourself and just you you can improve. We're all capable of improving ourselves in even the slightest manner. Um, Potential solutions to me to help alleviate some of the shame and negative mindsets is really looking inwards and trying to analyze, where does the shame come from? Is it from yourself, or were you made to believe in that shame or that negative thinking pattern that you have of yourself or others? And really just take some time out for yourself. Get no distractions and just really think about the situations that you're really negative about, where you think you could improve. Or sometimes we get upset or negative about something, and then, you know, the next day you're ruminating over that thought and how you blew up or got mad about something, and now you're shaming yourself because you got mad at a situation. They kind of go hand in hand. It's negativity and shame, I think, are kind of attached at the hip, and a lot of it is learnt from people around us, and most people just not being open and honest about things that bother them and setting boundaries and just creating a space for yourself that you should be respected, and you don't have to tolerate abuse of any kind. And that leads into bullying and shaming and from others and people talking negatively about you. It's, if you know that you're doing things in life to try to be better, and you're constantly trying to be courteous and helpful, and people are like shaming you, then that's that's on them. That's them uh, trying to put their shame and guilt and negativity on you. And I've suffered through that my entire life. Is people putting their negativity and shame and lashing out because they haven't dealt with it yet. And I'm guilty of that too. I've lashed out at people and been upset with people for no reason, or and then I beat myself up about it later on. So that can change. It takes a lot of time and effort, finding somebody that you could talk to about how you feel, um, any negative mindsets that you have about certain topics or situations. Uh, Try to get a different perspective. Try to be open to multiple perspectives, and that's how you'll gain insight. Staying in a bubble, whatever that bubble is, it doesn't matter what community that you're in or groups that you're in. Uh, we're all human, and we're all from this earth, and we all deserve to be here, and we all deserve love. And negativity and shame has a function, but it gets out of control, and in some people's minds it completely takes over and it destroys them from within. And it's really hard to get out of that spiral. just know that it's okay to have those feelings. Just don't let it control you. Push back on it. Think about all the good things that have happened. Try to think on the positive things that have happened in your life, because we all have positive things that have happened. And use the negativity and the shame as a learning tool, uh, so that you can approach the next situation with a little bit more knowledge and like how to deal with those emotions when they come up. It's not an easy task, and it takes effort every day and consistency. That's going to be a main theme of mine. I have not made the changes that I've made in my life overnight. This has been months and months of work on myself and my thought processes and how I see things, and questioning myself as well. I'm never 100% convinced of my thinking on any topic. I'm always open to being wrong. And in a lot of cases, we can be wrong about many different subjects. But I know that I'm also right on a lot of things, and I have to be confident in my own abilities and my own mind, which is another way to combat uh, negative thinking and shame. Is you just building that confidence up in yourself is a challenge, but it is possible. It's Life is complicated. That's the honest truth of it. And there's no easy path. There's no quick fix. There's no, there's no easy way to success or changing your mind. Anything worth anything in this world is a challenge, and it will be difficult. And the best advice that I could give to anybody who's suffering through shame or a negative mindset is just keep pushing, keep trying to be better and think better. Get outside perspectives. Don't get too caught up in your own beliefs, and just try to keep an open mind on all levels. And I hope that the more people do this in life, maybe we can find some middle ground and come back to reality instead of having the division that we have, because people can't be open and honest with themselves, because they've been stuck in a pattern their whole lives, and it's so hard to break free from routines and built up thought processes. But it is doable. You can change, and I hope that we can all change together for the better of humanity and the world. And I think that should be the bigger message for everybody, is we can do it. You can do it. We all can. And if you really want it, you can achieve it. Just start slow and small, and try not to go through it too fast. Take your time. Learn, grow over time. There will be setbacks. Reducing your shame and negativity over time is the best outcome you can achieve. It's not going to happen overnight. But the more you work on it, and the more you address it, and the more that you consider the options out there, which are many, you can learn and you can grow. And it just takes time and effort and consistency. So if this message reaches you and you are struggling, just know that we're out here. We're trying to do better. And I'm not the only one. I've come across many channels and people that just want to improve and just help others through that journey. And a lot of that starts with open conversation and just honesty about life, and just treating each other with a little bit more respect and love. But first, you have to learn how to love yourself. And if you can learn to love yourself, then the negativity and the shame will dissipate over time. So try to focus on your strengths and the goodness that is in everybody's heart. And maybe one day we'll see a better world with less suffering in it. And I think that should be the main goal of this universe is, can we all just be a little bit nicer and love each other a little bit more, and don't judge each other based on station and where you are in life. Because if you judge somebody that's on the street sleeping and you want to call them a crackhead and a bum and whatever, that's fine. But just know that that could have been you. And it all happens based on our decisions that we make in life. And some people make bad decisions in life, and it leads them down to a path that might be a lot harder to come back from. But it's always possible to come back from the brink, as long as you keep hope in your heart and just never give up. Never give up on yourself, and never give up on humanity, because there are good people in this world that want to help. So if you've come across this channel, I kind of rant about different topics, and I kind of just go with the flow of how I'm thinking in the moment. This is not scripted. I like to express myself and just have an open conversation. And I'm open to being wrong about many topics, and I'm open to learning and growing. So I hope you'll join me in this. And just thank you for listening. And if you stayed up to this point, like, subscribe, and I'll be creating more videos like this, just general topics and just talking openly about situations. And I hope that you find love and happiness in your life, like we all deserve to. Thank you. I appreciate you, and thank you for listening.